All right, Giulia, it's so, so lovely to see you. It's been quite a while, right?
Yeah, like 2 years, something like that.
I've missed your
It's a
face.
lot
I
long.
have missed your face.
Me too. And your voice is so calm, so nice.
I'm glad. It's just lovely to be together and revisit this beautiful journey that
Yeah,
you went on. So if you could just tell people a little about you, where are you from? Who are you? What do you love? Anything about you that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so I'm from Rome, Italy, and I am 23. Sorry for my English in advance because I'm Italian. So
Giulia, your English is phenomenal. Your English is phenomenal. And thank you for speaking to me in a second language. It's very, very impressive and I'm grateful. So take your time, love.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. And so I'm studying psychology and I'm working as a photographer and I really love my job. And I have a cat, a beautiful cat, that Matisse, and he helps me so much, like in everyday life, like regulating myself. So I'm really happy about it. And yeah, that's it.
I love it. So many, because we're so sensitive, all of us. Everyone says, my cat, my dog. Everyone introduces themselves with their pet. It's such a sign of a beautifully, highly sensitive nervous system that for all of us, our pets have been such a source of healing and hope.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I love this. Thank you, Matisse.
Yeah, thank you.
The best. So Giulia, before we started working together, could you tell me what you were dealing with in your mind, in your body? What was happening for you?
Yeah, everything started when I was like 16 and something like felt off. Like I started to have anxiety and food allergy. And after a while, I had mononucleosis.
Yes.
And so started to have fever, fatigue, something like that. But I thought it was just like something that it would have passed. But it didn't. So I started to feel fatigue every day and a lot of symptoms that add on the list.
Yes.
So it was like the main symptoms was fatigue. And after that, low-grade fever and vertigo and anxiety, depression. The list is very, very long.
It was, right? It
was. But the main thing was the fatigue. It was like so strange because I felt very tired, but I wasn't able to sleep properly. Like I went to bed at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And it was strange because I was very tired.
It's the worst, that like wired and tired, like one foot on the brake and one on the gas, and you're just, it's so hard. I know. I remember too.
Yeah, and the brain fog was the worst thing.
It was really tough for you when we started that brain fog, I remember.
Yeah, I couldn't like read a book. I couldn't read like one page of a book because I just couldn't do that.
I understand it's a tough place. So before we began, what had you tried to get better, and did anything help or did anything make you worse?
So I basically went from like doctors, normal doctors. I don't know how to say in English.
Yeah, that's right.
So, hospitals, so famous doctors. So I went to everyone in this field. And they gave me a lot of supplements. So I tried lots of supplements. Like I could take 20 supplements per day, something like that. And basically I tried different diets. And I mean, something helped, like change food. Yeah, of course. Maybe something to sleep, like, I don't know, melatonin, stuff like that. Yeah. But honestly, everything helped for a while. And then I was back to feeling like ill. Yeah. So honestly, there wasn't nothing else for me.
It's really common for us. We like try everything. We try and control the food. We try and control the supplements, and we'll have like a little bit of a change, but then we're just back, or we get a little knock and we're straight back again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. What made you choose this way of working, and how did you even find me? I can't even remember now.
Yeah, it was a strange story because unfortunately here in Italy, we don't know this mind-body kind of work a lot. So it's very sad. But I was in a group of mold illness. I was searching, you know, the phase when you're searching everything.
Yes.
Yes. So a nice lady shared her story about brain retraining. And I was like, what is this? I don't know about it. So I started to research and I found a brain retraining program. And I did that for a while. And then thanks to the Instagram hashtag, I was able to find you.
Yeah.
And I just read some of your posts and it resonates so much with me that I remember I contacted you.
I remember you emailing.
Do you remember?
I actually do. I'm so glad. It's social media can be such a heap of shit, but it can be such a beautiful place for connections where we find people that are, on the same mountain as us, but maybe a little higher.
Yeah, it depends how you use it. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. Just knowing. Well, I'm glad we found each other. How was it different? You did DNRS before, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah. It was the first thing I did.
How was the work we did? How is it different to anything you've done before, Giulia?
So basically, the DNRS was like, okay, you have to do this for, 1 hour per day. And you can do less, you can do more. There's a lot of rules. And it's not applied for one person. Like, it's not for me. It's just a general rule for everybody. And at first I felt better, but after a while I felt like it was like a duty.
Yes.
And it started to feel not good for me because I tend to be a perfectionist. So it triggers me in a lot of ways.
I remember.
I kind of hate it in a moment. And I started to have resistance because just didn't feel right. So basically the difference was that with you, I was working with you and you were working with me.
Yes.
So you suggest me things for me that was right for my person, and that's the whole difference. And also because I remember when you told me you don't have to do 1 hour, 2 hours. You just need to listen to your body, to listen to yourself, and it was such a relief.
Noticing that a lot of people say that it feeds into a lot of our protective patterns. Our perfectionist achiever parts can come out, and we actually disconnect from the body, and then our nervous system feels more unsafe.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what happened to me.
I could see it. I remember it was part of the fog, was just that trying to push through when your body was like, please, can you just pay attention?
Yeah, exactly.
So how was that? Because our work is very much about the pillar of the process being your relationship with you, and about nourishment and connection and understanding. How was it to move away from achievement and results focused and more to growth and nourishment? What was that like?
First, it was new to me because I spent all my life living like from that place of perfectionism. And I wasn't able to listen to myself truly. So when I started to do that, it was so free and like, oh, really? I can do that? I didn't know about it. Like, okay, so I can listen to myself. I can do what I want. Wow. So it was free, and it was like part of the healing.
Yes,
just
for sure.
Know that like your body can relax, your mind can relax. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is, and it was to start to see you treat yourself with more kindness and stop that punishment. You know how they used to break horses? It's when they trained a horse, they would call it breaking a horse. It's like whipping an animal, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
We would try and train our body by whipping it.
Yes, that's true.
It's realizing, hey, when we approach much more kindly, our body can respond. It's such a different feeling. I'm so glad that started because, I think that really was a different stage of your recovery and starting to listen like, oh, this isn't a bad place. It's not trying to do bad things to me. I just haven't listened.
Yeah. There was no enemy. It's kind of the opposite.
Exactly. I love that. There was no enemy. So you said all your life you have been that perfectionist, that pushing. So even before you got sick, do you recognize that?
Now, if I think about it, yes. Because I was physically good, like I felt good in my body. But I remember that emotionally, mentally, I was just like always pushing, do a lot of things. I was thinking about myself, what I like, really.
Yes.
Now I'm able to see that. Yeah.
Good. It's such a gift of the process. So your relationship with yourself, has that changed through your recovery?
A lot. Yes, because, I was able to, thanks to you, I was able to learn to accept myself.
Yes.
Like have kindness for myself. Don't hate my body. Don't push. Just listen. And start to love myself, my body. And it was the first time, honestly. Yeah.
It's quite an emotional thing when you realize, like, hey, that this is the first time we might have been so-called healthy and normal before, but we weren't kind. We weren't at home. There was so much pressure inside. It's very poignant when you look back and realize you didn't treat yourself that well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like also a great grieving process because you feel sorry for yourself, for how you treat yourself. So that's also that.
I'm glad you mentioned that. A lot of people don't realize that when we start to mend and we start to repair and heal, that there is a lot of grief that will come up for how we've treated ourselves, for what that has meant in our life and relationships. Yeah. I'm glad you have made space for that, Giulia. It's a brave thing. It allows us to hold what was lost and grieve it and then lean into something new. And
I'm so happy that right now I can allow myself, for example, to cry.
Yes.
Because I remember I didn't cry very often because, it wasn't good. And right now, when it happens, I'm like, oh, I'm going to cry. It's like nice because you can feel your emotions.
Yes.
And it's nice.
Good for you. So what I hear is before you repressed, you didn't feel your emotions because there was an internalized belief that it was bad to feel them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And we know now that what we don't feel safely will come out in the body.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm glad you cry and you laugh so much more. There is so much more lightness here too. Tell me about what else you've noticed emotionally, how you cope with your feelings now, how you relate to them.
So it's funny because before it was like just a flat line. You don't cry, you don't feel anything, so you're not able to feel also the good emotion, like laughing, enjoying things, love.
Yes.
So right now it's just like a roller coaster, but it's fun because life is a roller coaster.
It is.
So the day you feel like crying, you enjoy crying because it's going to arrive other things. So I'm a lot more silly. I try to be as silly as I can. Yeah.
Good. It's so lovely to see you and watch you now. When I met you, it was very flat. and quite out of your emotions, and the body was a tough place and quite flat. And as you healed and got capacity to safely be in this body again, I got to see more and more of Giulia come back. And yes, she likes being silly. She has a good sense of humor. She feels deeply. We're Mediterranean, right? Italians and Greeks, we feel a lot.
Yes.
And it's a lovely thing when you can feel safe and you're not judging it as bad to feel.
Exactly. There's a lot of acceptance. Yeah.
And as a creative, as a photographer, it's so important for you to be in touch with your feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I'm doing right now photographs, it's so different from before, because it's like you can see brighter, like the colors are different. Like you can find beautiful things in also people, normal people. I mean, it's different. Like you can feel everything, all the spectrum of the emotions.
I love this. I really love this, the being able to perceive the beauty in the everyday and being able to see the different parts of people and the beauty in them. It is such a gift of this work.
Yes, because I think that when you are able to connect with yourself, you're able to connect with others.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Oh, you're such a talented photographer. We will put your Instagram account underneath so people can go and follow you, because your work is stunning.
Thank you.
Along the way, Giulia, in our work, what lessons have you learnt? Things like boundaries or approaching your body, how to connect to yourself better, the need for play. Any lessons that really stand out for you from your practice that have been very life enhancing?
The people pleaser in me, I mean, it was a big part.
Yeah.
And so when I started to set boundaries, because it's not that easy.
It is not.
It's not. But yes, something that I learned is set boundaries better than before. I'm still working on this.
Good.
But it's freeing, like be able to say no because I don't want to do that. Because now I can recognize what I want.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't put boundaries because we just don't know what we want.
No, we're not. If we're not in touch with our feelings and our needs, we don't have that identifying understanding when a need comes up to recognize it and that we're allowed it, that it's not guilty or shameful to have needs and to assert them. We don't know what a no or a yes feel like in our body. It's so difficult. Often the first thing we know that we don't have a boundary is because we've crashed.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
So it takes time. And I'm glad to hear you say it's a work in progress, because it is for all of us, right? We practice, and some situations and some kinds of people are tougher than others. And we have to pay attention, kind attention, and keep teaching our system it's safe and okay to hold ourselves in the world.
Yeah. I mean, you learn to discover yourself, to know yourself little by little. So when you understand that, it's enjoyable, because it's like, okay, what's next? What I don't know about myself.
Indeed.
So, it's a journey.
I'm glad. It's such a nicer way than like, oh God, I have to fix me. All these things are messed up. I've got to do it, work harder. This is, it's a lifetime. No one knows what the hell they're doing. We're all just growing, and that's okay. So how does that feel in your body, that it's okay to discover myself bit by bit and to keep growing?
Yeah, it's when I think about it, I think it's funny. The first thing that came in my mind is it's funny, because sometimes you really don't know something about yourself.
Yes.
And discovering for the first time is, I'm enjoying it. So I'm very curious about life.
Wonderful quality. Curiosity. It was a lot of our work together. Can we get curious about it? Can we do that? And we laughed a lot. There were tears and really tough moments, but it was funny too. There was more and more lightness and more curiosity. It's a very good approach for all of us to life.
Yeah, I remember sometimes even in tough moments that you made a joke. And so I just learned from it to laugh even in the tough times.
I don't cry and laugh, right?
Yeah.
And what else outside of this work? Because, we learn a lot about ourselves, about what supports us physically, with movement, with food, with other people in our lives. What else outside of our work did you bring in that has supported you?
First thing was nature, because when I felt sick and when I was sick, I just was scared about the sun, the sea, everything. Mm-hmm. So when I started to go out more, I started to appreciate the nature, like really the simple things. And I just feel good when I'm in nature, like my nervous system calm very when I'm in nature. So first, nature.
Yes, good, Giulia.
Yeah.
It's a great one. I think all highly sensitive people, we just flourish in nature when those little things that when I start to encourage you to go out and start to notice, and we're like, oh, that's beautiful. And I feel better here. For so many of us, it's such a realization that something seemingly so small is huge for our nervous system.
Yes. I think it's the secret of life at the end. I mean, you can see a flower and you can say, wow, it's beautiful and feel good just watching it.
Exactly. All right. It is that if we can be present in the moment, appreciating what is, we're going to be okay. It's just moment by moment. So I'm with you. And to hear you say that from someone that was, dissociated and offline because your system was so protective, to coming to say, I can be just present and noticing the beauty. That's a pretty profound transformation, Giulia.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, high five, my friend. So what would you say to somebody who is considering doing this kind of mind-body work? Maybe they've tried the diet or they've tried a program and they're hitting resistance or not feeling sure about it. What would you say to them about this kind of much more compassion-based mind-body work?
The first thing that came to my mind is that sometimes we think that our journey, we have a special view of our journey. Like, I have to heal in this way.
Yes.
And basically, most of the time, it's the opposite. Like, you change exactly where you don't think that you can change. Like, I don't know if to explain English.
Totally.
But yeah, I never thought that my improvement, my changing was through this.
Yes.
It was the last thing. I thought, okay, maybe it's the diet, maybe it's a supplement, maybe it's the 3 hours of brain retraining every day. And that's not like that. It was something that I didn't know about it. So that you have to try a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you have to have faith and trust the process and just be able to let go.
Yeah. Okay. I love this. So what I hear is your message for people is that sometimes you have this idea, this kind of road that you think you need to walk, and often it's something very different that you're going to get to know about you, or something's going to come in and it will be transformative, but not in the way that you thought. So stay open to the process, and faith and trust and some surrender, because we can't control everything, right? You can control your diet, you can control this, but the process of healing it's like a metamorphosis. It's a process. You can't control everything.
Yeah, the controlling part is, I think, the worst part. I mean, when I was able to let go,
yes,
that's when things start to change.
Agreed. Okay. And I've seen that. I remember controlling everything about my life and my environment and even people, so I would feel safer here. And obviously, it makes you feel more unsafe the more you're controlling, because you're on a smaller and smaller tightrope.
Yeah, it gets smaller and smaller. I mean,
It
so
does.
you're like, you're safe just in your room, but it's not living.
Exactly. So yeah, I hear you that helping people recognize that that level of control isn't actually safety.
No, I did it for a while and it didn't work.
Ditto. I think we all have that t-shirt, Giulia. So this journey, this hero's journey that we go on, it's kind of like somebody put you on the side of a mountain. You didn't ask to be there. You have no idea what you're doing there, but it's yours. You're the only one that can climb it. Now that you are up that mountain and can sit and take a look around from up here with all the rest of us that have done this with you, what would you say to a younger version of you that was really going through it? What would you say to that younger Giulia?
Yeah, this question is difficult, but I think that, to be more gentle with herself.
Yes.
To, accept things like they are. Sometimes it's the first thing that you can do to move yourself, and to love yourself more, because I thought I was wrong. I thought that my body was like, and it's not true at all. It's quite the opposite. Quite the opposite.
It is. Thank you. I love these messages of self-acceptance, acceptance of where you are, self-compassion. There's nothing wrong with you. You know, our body goes into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn to protect us, not to damage us or cause illness. So these are big messages that come from a real wise adult Giulia now to this younger part of you. Do you feel connected to her, that younger part of you these days?
Yes. Sometimes it's like the grief is still there.
Yes.
So sometimes I think about her and I feel sorry for her.
Yes.
So I just want to hug her and take care of her. And I feel connected to her, especially the silly part, the creative part.
Good.
We are enjoying this together. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear you make space for both, that yes, she still has grief and that is okay. It's still there. And when we connect to it, we just need to hold it. There's nothing to fix or to change. But then there's also this lightness that's also part of her, that you now have access to, her creativity and lightness and joy, and holding both is really what it is to be healthier and more of a whole human, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, my love. That was a beautiful answer. So what's next for you, Giulia? Where's your energy and attention going in your life? Any kind of dreams, short term or longer term? What are you up to?
Honestly, right now I'm living in the present. Wow.
Atta girl. That's my girl.
Yes. So I'm enjoying like every day. So sometimes I wake up and I'm saying, what's going on today? What we're going to do, and it's so fun. But other than that, I want to finish my degree in psychology.
Yes.
I would love to like work with other people, like coaching, because I feel good when I share my experience with others. Because makes sense that after a while that you have been in this journey, you want to share things with others and connect with people that are like you, feel like you, have the same experience. So that's my goal.
I love this goal. Giulia, you will be an absolute gift to people you work with, because you embody what it is to grow home to yourself. You understand, and so you feel very safe. You're going to be excellent at this.
Thank you. It's a very good compliment from you.
It's the truth. Anything else you'd want to share with anyone still going through this? Any reflections on this work or encouragement or just anything you'd like to say, Giulia?
I don't know. If I think about myself, like when I was at my lowest point, and I remember that I felt, that there was something wrong with me, something wrong with my body, because sometimes the medical world tend to say dangerous stuff to us.
For sure.
And it's very dangerous because you identify with your illness and it's okay. So when I was there, I felt like hopeless and I thought that nothing would have changed anything. And I want to share that it's not true, that every one of us think, no, but it's different for me. I'm really sick, stuff like that. But it's like a bias. I mean, it's not true. Everyone can change, everyone can grow, and there's always hope. And I was one of the person that thought, no, it's not going to change, but it did. So, yeah.
That gave me chills. Thank you so much. It is dangerous. And you tell people they have an incurable chronic illness, and we are taught to take the word of authority over our own knowledge, and we're disconnected from our bodies, especially as women. And so we internalize that as part of our identity. And my goodness, it's a scary, dark, despairing place. And it is not true.
It's not true. It's not true. Never. When people say to you, there is no cure for this, it's not true.
No, good for you. It's so important when we start to believe that we're a self-healing miracle. The body knows how to self-heal. We need to get curious about what's blocking it, what feels scared, what's protective, how is our daily life empowering our body or not letting it heal. And it will do what it's made to do if we help it.
Yes.
Yes.
But the body is very intelligent. Yes. Yes.
So intelligent. We've colonized our land, we've colonized other people, and we colonize the body, we dominate it. Yeah. And we should be in relationship with our land and one another and our body. And then we thrive.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Giulia, thank you so much, my love, for speaking to me today. I cannot tell you how full my heart is seeing you and hearing you. And I'm excited to see what you do next.
Yeah. I'm glad you called me, invited me, because I can't wait to share my experience also with others.
We're ready for you, my friend. The world is definitely in need of you.
I hope so. Thank you, Nada, for your work with me. You helped me so much.
It was a joy. It's a real joy to know you, Giulia.
Thank you.